What's up, Pirates? Wraith here with Awaken TCG, and today we're going to be going over what's coming for July. So, as you guys know, there are no more Treasure Cups, there are no more online or offline regionals until August. So it's about to be a month of no offline events. There's one online coming up this Saturday, which is a Carta Magica online regional, but then it is dead for July. But there are some store regionals, what they call them, championship store regionals. This is a new thing that they're doing. So in the East, they have this flagship type tournament where it's like, you go to a store, a local store, and you play an event for a good prize card. So they're trying out here in the States is their first iteration of doing something like this. Obviously, it wasn't perfect. There was so many people signing up to these things, and it was lottery. So as you can see here, it says the store regionals bring excitement, prestige, and prizing of regionals to select local gaming stores. So basically, you take this prize card, you put into a store regional, you have a big tournament, and it's fun. And then it's, obviously all these tournaments here, different stores. I think it was about 60 stores, or like, I'm not sure how much total stores it was, but it definitely could have been a lot more. I know a lot of stores that got denied. So one good thing to know is you get your participation 3 packs, you get an event pack, which contains one of these 4 cards here on the screen. You also get for top 8 you get sleeves, which is these Monkey D. Luffy sleeves. Top 4 you get an invite to North America Finals. So I think this is the biggest one. It allows players that don't have access to online regionals or offline tournaments to go to their local store and still compete at the highest level, which is the North American National Tournament. So top 2 get this card set with finalist on it. And then obviously the winner gets a category, which actually is this card right here. So this is what we're going to be getting. This category is going to be the prize card for first place at a store regional like this, which is insane. It's absolutely insane. I'm excited for this. I got into 3. I got into Hawaii, I got into Washington, and I got into Lawndale. Now, I think I'm going to drop after this video. I'm probably going to drop right away out of the Hawaii one, because I have Lawndale, which is a Saturday, and then that Hawaii tournament is that following Sunday. So I don't think I'm ever gonna make it. I would have to fly out right after the first tournament, do the Hawaii tournament, fly back Sunday because I work Monday. So it's probably not gonna work out. I probably will be going to Washington and Lawndale because that's the closest one to me. But now that we have said that, hopefully those type of store regionals we continue to see and they continue to get better and they open it up a little bit more. I know there were certain requirements that were strict and harsh, so a lot of stores got denied. So hopefully, next wave of store regionals we can, get at least twice the amount of stores, because one of these stores would get 700 applicants and it's capped at 64 and it's lottery. So it could be a random 64 people that are not even local to the area. So that kind of defeats the purpose from one perspective, but hopefully it opens up and a lot more stores get it. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get into our next segment of this video. We're going to be going over what I personally believe we're going to start seeing in the OP07 meta by looking at what the East was ending off with. And we can go ahead and give a little overview of basically everything that we're going to be able to see in 07, especially from the start. I think we're going to be seeing a lot of Enel, but let's go ahead and see some of these placements here. So we have Law, we have OP07 Lucci, another Law, we have Enel, Black Yellow Luffy, a bunch of RP Law, sprinkled in with a Perona, a Boa. This Perona was actually a 6-0 flagship win. This Boa right here is a 30-man tournament, so obviously not the craziest flagship, but that's still 3-4 rounds. Sprinkle in more RP Law. There's actually a GP Dofi, which is kind of crazy. I'm not sure what kind of tournament that was. More Lucci, Amoria, Nami, Purple Luffy. So if you guys can kind of see the top 2 decks here, the top 3 decks here is Enel, RP Law, and Lucci, right? These are hands down, I think, going to be the most represented. Top 2 in my opinion is going to be RP Law and Lucci. So if you're playing a deck that absolutely dumps on one of these 2 decks, I think you're in a good spot. Obviously, there is no deck that actually has a winning matchup into the whole meta. Like before, Sakazuki didn't have a losing matchup, I don't think. I think the hardest matchup for Sakazuki was like, maybe RP Law or Moria. But even then, Sakazuki still had the answers to both of those matchups and would consistently see those answers. So now there is not a single leader where you can be like, you know what, this is the leader for this meta. I'm going to steamroll everybody. It's kind of more spread out. It's more open. It's going to have a lot more diversity, as we've already seen in the Eastern side when they went through it. There was a lot of diversity. And so I'm optimistic about this meta. I'm optimistic about OP08. Obviously, we have that little RP law issue, but overall, I think we're headed in a good spot. I think the meta's fresh. It's fun. It's new. This one's definitely not one to complain about. There's a lot of good choices for you to pick. Whether you like to be aggressive, whether you like to play more of a mid-range deck, or if you like to play control late game type style decks. I think there is something for everybody here that is meta that you can go ahead and build and play. So first up, I think RP Law is going to be the most represented. I think this deck has that engine that just does not stop. If you see your Reijus, you can consistently just drop your queens and draw, Reiju, draw. It has all the tools to beat every deck. It does. This deck, I will say, has the highest roll of any deck. This deck can high roll and just steamroll a match, right? But this deck has no built-in consistency. Whatever your 5 cards are that you start with, whatever your 4 life are, and your draws per turn, that is what you're stuck with if you do not find a Reiju, if you do not find your queens, right? You have those options, right? You have queen, you have Reiju. These are options to mitigate some of that. I don't have a searcher. I don't have that consistency to find my pieces. So you can continue to draw, right? But if you completely brick and you have no removal from the start, if you have no ramp from the start, and you're stuck with a bunch of 5 drops that don't do anything, like just 3 5 cost kids, 2 2Ks, Automas, it's like, you're kind of stuck with what you got. Now, Lucci, I think, is going to be the number 2 most represented deck. I think OP07 Lucci is such a threat. I think when we first had these decks leaked, these leaders leaked, I was looking at OP07 Lucci and I'm like, you know what, that trash seems really, really good, because we were about to get OP06 and I was seeing Moria, right? I started playing Moria and Moria felt really amazing playing the 8 cost and having so many options in trash. And then obviously now we see OP07 Lucci, that trash gets built just by leader swing -1. Trash 2 is just, it's an insane effect. It gives you -1, and then paired with the -2 Eni's Lobby, it is just a threat. Like, it doesn't matter what character you have on board, it's getting a -3, and obviously a -3 goes a long way. It basically sets you up to only have to use 1 removal card every time, and you always will have the KO. So it's nasty. It's nasty combos. This deck has a lot of deck expression. I think you can build it a variety of different ways. And so if you're more of a creative player, this is definitely one of those decks where you got to use your brain a little bit, a lot of math involved. Similar to Sakazuki, similar to Moria. This deck is going to be a threat, and I think it's going to be one of the top decks in our meta as well. And then last but not least, I'm going to go ahead and go over Anel. I think Anel is just going to be, an insane deck. 10 ace is just a win more card. Like, this deck already had what it needed to win in OP05. OP06, it faltered a little bit just because of the lack of removal, and then Reject got banned. But then with EB, we got Raigo, and with 07, we have Ace. It's just insane. This Ace card here is broken. You heal a life, you can go to 0. If you have an Ace in hand, you can go to 0. If your opponent wants you to put you to 0, you can go ahead and go to 0. You're going to play Ace. Your leader effect is back online. Now you have a 10k swing, right? Especially if they're swinging fat, right? If they're going 9k, 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 you don't want to give them 3 cards to block one of those to stay at 1 life. You're just going to take, right? The card is insane. This card right here is just broken. It's absolutely busted. This is going to be a fun deck, and I think it's going to be in our top 3 for sure. Again, another one of those lists where you can definitely cater it towards a certain playstyle, whether that be more aggro, whether that be more control, but that is up to you. And I think a good mix of both is what we're going to be able to see shine the most, right? If you have a good balance of both, a little bit of an aggressiveness, a little bit of a control, and I think this deck is going to have the pieces it needs to win every matchup. because the leader effect is honestly broken. And so those are my predictions. I've been yapping, but those are my predictions. But yeah, store regionals, guys. You know, the signups already went live. They already got chosen. But for the next ones, you guys kind of have a little bit more information now, kind of what to expect. It's 64 player bracket, like a flagship. It's going to be 6 rounds. You know, good pricing. Top 4, you get Nats invites. It's amazing. It's going to be a fun time. I will for sure be the one at Lawndale. Washington, I'm iffy. Hawaii, I probably will not go. Like a 10% chance I go. I just don't see it working out. So we're definitely we're not going to that one. But with that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Make sure to like this video, comment down below, subscribe to our channel, and also subscribe to our Patreon. I have something big in the works, and we were on the topic of Anel. What if I made a free guide for Anel? Anyways, you guys stay tuned. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.